Legacy Traders, it's Tim with Option Legacy and, of course, the infamous Jesse Ball. We're here for our Friday market recap and, you know, just kind of enjoying some vacation here.
Woot woot.
There's, I'll give you guys a preview. Let's see. Boom. That's okay. Well, anyways, you see it. It's the ocean. I don't know if you saw it actually, but out here in Cabo, Mexico, for a pal, he's getting married or got married. And so we're out here celebrating him, but doesn't stop us from bringing you a Friday market recap. So let's get it going. So I have one trade. How many trades did you open, Jesse?
I have 2 trades.
Okay, cool. And did you close out any?
I did close a trade, I think.
Okay. So
let me look. Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
So let's we'll hop into it. I'll share my screen. Let's see. I'm gonna share with you guys tasty words.
Yes, I did close a trade.
Cool.
I closed out that SMH disappointing trade.
Yeah. Shake my head. So I'm in a SPY long put. If you look at the chart from a technical standpoint, it was looking solid. As far as we entered in on this day, this hammer day, where it dropped down, we entered in basically as, as it was right here, then it continued to drop down. Then what happened? It closed up above the 50. That really, since then, that took all of our steam out from the trade. We were looking at copying something like this, where we see this hammer on the 50, and then I give it a day or two, and then it begins to drop, and it just didn't happen. It had another day where it threw another hammer, went below the 50, and then popped back up. And then on Friday, I believe it was driven by political news, we had a 1% gap up, and then it basically just stayed there. And if you look at it, you can't see volume on this chart, but there was a ton of just indecision. So a doji, whenever it has wicks to the bottom and to the top, just means that it came and sold down to the bottom point, and then it was bought into that top point. And at the end of the day, it closed basically where it opened. And so I think, excuse me, I think with the government opening back up, that we'll see some continued move to the upside. And then Jesse was pointing out, just noting this support right here on that 50-day simple. We have just either wicks or bodies coming and setting down on that yellowish, orangish line of the 50-day, just showing it as a support right there, and it hasn't broken through it. Then with the positive news of the U.S. government reopening, we could probably see some move to the upside. So I haven't closed out this position. It's a long put. Some of you might be saying, Tim, why haven't you closed this out? Well, for my Suzy Trade Alerts, I'm going to break down the rationale of what I plan to do to recoup most of this capital here. So right now, my max loss is the debit that paid for it, which is $3.91, $391, and it's down about $2.50. And I'm going to look at converting this thing and recouping the majority of this capital. So that's why I don't have it open, but I'll share that with my Suzy Trade Alerts. If you're interested in subscribing, go to optionlegacy.com/Suzy Alerts, and you'll get the details of the rationale of everything that we do inside every trade. And so I'll hold that off for my subscribers, but Jesse, you did have a closed trade that you can walk through
Yes.
For our peeps.
All right. So we had this SMH short call vertical, or a what is it? A bear call spread, and we got in on this January 16th. I'm going to pull up a chart. January 16th. Yeah. So it was on this down move, and I had initially got in. This is an ETF for the semiconductors, and so earnings was coming out for a lot of them, like Intel and Micron and a bunch of other ones. And when earnings did come out, that was on the 22nd for a majority of these guys. It was bonkers good, and so we got killed. But I was anticipating some weak earnings, some sad earnings from a lot of these guys, and so I went short, and I kind of had some indicators, basically this fractal here, which is a short indication fractal, meaning that there's going to be some weakness. And it was actually followed by 3 days of weakness. And we were actually up on this trade about $12. And I was like, let's see how much more we have to go. I was anticipating a support resistance crossover happening so that we could continue on with a downward trend. But you have good, strong earnings from every semiconductor inside this ETF. And then the government reopens, and all of a sudden it's like blown past our short strike. And so what happened is I closed this thing out for a small loser. I was hoping that this thing would come back a little bit, but no, we opened it for about a 97-cent credit, and then we closed for 250 debit. So yeah, I'm kind of sad about this trade. I thought I had high hopes, but first loss of the year. So that's going into the good old learning bank here. But that's pretty much what happened this week. I did open 2 trades, which I will cover in the Suzy section. But yeah, that's all I got.
Give us your market analysis for the coming market.
Based on that doji that you pointed out, I anticipate upward. I don't see the bears winning for a couple more days in the market. The market just reopened. I think everybody's just going to be like, buy. So buy the dip. That's what I think is going to happen, which is sad for me. I'm sad.
I heard the sorrow in your voice. Sad.
I am so sad. I want it to go down so bad. I just want literally what I've been, and I actually talked to my wife about it. I just want two-way action. I honestly, I'm just craving for the day when we can have up days and down days and it be normal. I'm tired of 14 days of green. I'm tired of, things like it just bothers me because you're supposed to be able to trade both sides and it's just only up. So it's frustrating.
Yeah, I think my market sentiment is changing as well with the political facts and the fact that it didn't close under the 50. Yeah. And it had multiple days to do that, and it even dropped down wicks, price points under the 50 and then closed back up. That to me is like, oh, that's 50 is proving as a support. And then we've got the positive news. The only thing that could happen, obviously, is if the president says something crazy and, I don't know, reinitiates or instigates North Korea or something like that.
No, I think the only thing that's going to happen, like if anything were to happen good on our favor, it would be reversing the tightening of the Chinese trade tariffs. I think if he reverses that and says, you know what, I'm putting those back in place, I think we're going to see some down days because, the market doesn't want that at all. But yeah, that's the only thing I think that can happen. And it could, because you never know with this guy. So.
What's interesting too is like Trump and his administration is so conscious and aware of the market, and they really use the market as like a benchmark for how the economy is doing. It doesn't have some correlation, yes, but that's why we get these weird announcements and things like that, because like, oh, the market's going down, we gotta sum this thing up and try to get some buying power back in here. And so at the end of the day, I feel like definitely our current president enjoys maybe the power of his words, but at the end of the day, wants a positive market. So we'll see. That's all I got.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so this way we're going to wrap it up for our Friday market recap. We are going to hit pause, pump the brakes, and then we'll come back into the rationale for our open trades to share with all of our Suzy Trade Alert subscribers. Of course, don't make this a one-way conversation. If you have any questions or comments or whatever, hit reply. Let us know. We'd love to connect with you and help you build a legacy, because that's what it's all about. And get to, maybe we could all go out to Cabo or something like that and go see the ocean. So, okay, guys. Well, that's all I got for you guys. We'll see our Suzy Trade Alerts here in a moment.